usually start every episode with a jingle or a poem or a little song I write, or I'll share a story about a wild night from my own life. But I was feeling a little sad this week, like a lot of people, so I wanted to share something different. Zhao Zhetan. She was the owner of Young Asia Spa, and she was one day away from her 50th birthday. She worked 12 hours a day, and she was still full of smiles and laughter. Delina Ashley Young, mother of a 13-year-old and an 8-year-old, married less than a year, and she was on a date with her husband. Paul Andre Michels, owner of an alarm company in Atlanta where he lived for 26 years with his wife. He served in the Army, and he was one of 9 siblings. Alicius R. Hernandez Ortiz. He was a survivor of the attack, and his family depends on him for survival. He's having surgery next week, and his 9-year-old daughter says he's a really good dad. Dao Yu Fong. She was 44 years old, and she had only been working at the spa for a few months. Hyung Jung Grant. A single mother of sons who loved karaoke and dancing, and she made the world's best kimchi according to her son. Suncha Kim. A grandma, married for over 50 years. She was an employee at Gold Spa, and she really liked line dancing. Yang Yu, a 63-year-old mother who loved to hit the grocery store on Sundays and head home to make a traditional Korean Sunday dinner. Soon Chung Park, employee at the spa and always there for her children. A lot of her family, who she really got along with, are still in New York and New Jersey. To my Asian brothers and sisters, I stand with you, and I will fight this battle alongside you.
It's time for
Duh.
Rocket.
Welcome to the Rocky Rundown, where you get to learn a little bit about my week. Shamelessly flirted with the plumber this week. LOL. LOL. People who just say LOL. There's a whole Curb episode about it, where a woman played by the actress who plays Janice on Friends always says LOL, and Larry says, just laugh, don't say LOL. And since rewatching, I can't stop saying LOL when something is mediocrely, is that a word? Mediocrely funny. That means semi-funny. Maybe I should have just said semi-funny. When something is semi-funny, semi, oh my god, I say LOL. Wouldn't it have been funny if I said OMG? Anyways, I flirted with my plumber. I know your first question, why was the plumber there? You nasty. He was there because every 6 months our shower clogs to no end and Drano ruins the pipe. So the appointment was at 11 a.m. because the guy on the phone asked me what time do I want to make the appointment, and I said 11 a.m. I thought that was a decent hour for me to have him arrive, right? I can leisurely get up, make some fresh coffee, do one of these deep breath, eyes closed faces while I look out the window in my oversized robe and wave at my neighbor Bernard, and then drink piping hot lava coffee with both hands. Anyone who knows me knows that's not how that went down. I don't even have a neighbor named Bernard that I know of. I woke up in a fright naturally because I forgot to set my alarm. I leapt out of the bed, and then I wiped down our shower with 14 Lysol wipes. You know what would have been faster and more efficient than wiping down my tub with 14 useless Lysol wipes? Using my fucking tongue. Don't use glorified wet wipes to clean your tub. And you know, I know better than this. I always use a durable cleaning product, elbow grease, some towel paper, but this time I was being lazy because I didn't have my coffee, because this wasn't the Folgers fantasy commercial I had hoped for. Like I said, I woke up late. I woke up at 10:30. And this motherfucker did not show up until 6, damn near 6 p.m. And when I called and asked, where the fuck is this guy? I didn't say that. I just said, oh, is he arriving soon by any chance? Is what I said on the phone. But to you guys, I will say, when I called the plumbing company, I was like, yo, where the fuck is this guy? But I really said, is there any chance he's on the way? And then the guy said, He'll be there between 2 and 4. Okay, why did I make an appointment for 11 then? Cool. He said that the guy was a little backed up because of the rain. What? It's 11:30 in the morning. So he shows up at 5:30 in the afternoon. This is practically nighttime. If this was daylight savings last week, it would have been nighttime. And what do you know? It's the same plumber as the last time. So my attitude changed when I saw him, because last time I saw him, he had fixed something minor that would have cost me $125, and he charged me zip zilch nada, cause your girl still got it. First thing I say to him when I open the door, hey, it's you! You survived the pandemic. Congratulations. I said I still had it, guys. I didn't say I had all of it. He told me that he was hungover because the day before was St. Patrick's Day, and that's why he was late to the unclog party. And I forgave him because I have an unhealthy love attachment style. And then he was on his way. We did not bang, which is what I know you thought I was gonna say. This isn't a 90s porno, guys. This is my life. And usually, I look like Pauly Shore's stand-in when I'm unshowered and home all day. So look him up if you don't know who Pauly Shore is. Or if you're trying to kill that boner from you picturing me banging that plumber, you perverts. Last week, I told you I was going to be doing a new segment called Rocky's Highest Thoughts, featuring my real-life stoned thoughts that I've had this week. The first, I was eating Trix cereal and one fell out of the bowl. Is one piece of Trix cereal called a trick? Number 2, I was having a sexy stroll. Now, if you don't know what a sexy stroll is, it's when I stroll by myself and listen to music that makes me feel sexy. You can also have sexy showers, sexy couch time, sexy cleaning time. It's simply when you listen to the music that makes you feel sexiest while you're doing an activity. While on my sexy stroll, Therefore I Am by Billie Eilish came on for the 4th time in a row. And I thought to myself, I could fist fight a grown man while this plays in the background and win. My next high thought was, if you have a gigantic couch like me, and you're smoking a bowl or a joint with someone, nice and comfy on one end, they're nice and comfy on the other end, can you hire someone to just pass the joint or the bowl between you so you don't have to make an ordeal every time it's time to pass it? Could that be a real occupation? Moleskin. I have a lot of beauty marks. Some might call them moles. Some doctors may have told me they recommend I get them removed. I once had a dermatologist, and this is not a high thought thing, this is the truth. I once had a dermatologist say to me, I wouldn't let anyone I love leave my office with that mole. He removed it, and the shit came back. So you don't get refunds on moles. So I'm high at the pharmacy, and I see moleskin. And I think to myself, well, moleskin? I got a lot of beauty marks everywhere, and these are patch things that say moleskin, and I thought, how come I never heard of these? I mean, they must be for when you want to cover your moles at the beach, right? But wait, won't that give you square tan lines? No, Rocky, obviously you cut it out to fit the shape of the mole on your body when you need to cover them. Should I buy these or wait till September when beach season is over? Ugh, don't be cheap, just get them now. What moleskin actually is: soft padding that can be cut to any size for relief of painful corns, calluses, and tender spots. It's not for mold skin. And last but not least, and maybe you guys can figure this out because I don't know what it means, but I wrote, and I quote, I'm sorty, I can't be perfect, chip out. And those are my highest thoughts this week. Please tune in to IGTV Live this Wednesday at 6 p.m. I will be interviewing the host of the Cappuccino at 6 podcast all the way from Italy. So you don't want to miss that. My guest this week is the talented, lovely, hilarious Priscilla Davies. My cheeks hurt from laughing after her story. Her wild word was mess, so you already know what's in store. If you haven't done so already, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Wild Nights with Rocky and on Twitter at Wild Nights Pod. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. I hope you'll stay a while. And if you come visit me every week and you haven't liked, shared, subscribed, then tickle that subscribe button. Flirt with that follow. And thank you as always for tuning in. Enjoy my Wild Nights conversation with Priscilla Davies. Priscilla, welcome. Thank you for doing the podcast.
Thank you for having me. So excited to be here.
Yes. I have to ask right now, are you in LA?
I am. I'm in LA right as we speak.
Yeah, and how's that going for you?
It's going pretty well outside of, COVID.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's still a thing, right?
That thing. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm.
The year anniversary of COVID is approaching us right now.
God, I just don't know how we've made it. It just gets harder every day.
Yes. Resilience and a lot of Netflix. That's how I've made it.
Right? Literally.
Because we've kind of had the bi-coastal experience. I'm in New York City, you're in LA. Have you been in LA hunkered down this entire time, or have you gotten a chance to get out?
Whole time. I'm like one of the few people who are still quarantining, still not like out there in these streets. I haven't traveled.
Good. Yeah.
I've just been here.
Perfect. Well, I guess we can both agree that right now the times, they are a mess.
Okay.
And Priscilla's wild word that she gave us this week was mess. So I'm going to give you the floor. Tell us your wild story. I'm dying to hear it.
All right, let's jump into this story. So, I apologize. This is like a little older of a story. So if I have to jump around a little bit, I apologize. I'm forgetting details.
Do your thing, go back, whatever you have to do. You can say this is a free forum. So say whatever you like, whatever you're comfortable sharing, swear, don't swear, whatever. The floor is yours.
Oh, good. I will be swearing a lot.
Okay, good.
So a couple little tidbits of background information. So you have some context of the story. Yeah. So I am originally from New Jersey. I am an East Coast girl.
Yes.
Okay.
Tri-state ladies.
Hey. So yeah, I'm from New Jersey. And so, every so often over the years prior to COVID, I would go home, to visit the fam. And so when I go home, I don't have a car, obviously. So between my family members, someone usually will either let me borrow a car or they'll chauffeur me around or something to that effect. And so this particular time that I went, this story takes place, in New Jersey and New York, but this particular time when I went home, my sister, my younger sister, Elizabeth, bless her heart.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to Elizabeth. She let me borrow her car whenever she wasn't using it.
Got it.
And so she had this it's like a Jeep Cherokee, it was cute, old, but cute. And the thing is, my sister has she's notorious for having shitty cars and fucking her cars up. Okay.
There's always someone like that in all of our lives who cannot keep a car together.
Oh my God. It's just it's like, baby girl, get it togetger. So just keep that in mind. So
got it.
I went back, I'm borrowing my sister's car whenever she has whenever she has some freedom or some free time. And then the other little tidbit of information that you need to know is, so this particular year when I went home, my friend from LA, born and raised in LA, I don't talk to that bitch no more. So we're not going to give you, she's done. So I'm not going to give you her real name. We're going to call her Tammy. Okay.
Tammy. Terrible Tammy.
That's her first name. That's crazy. So terrible Tammy. Okay. So she's from out here. And so we coordinated so that we would meet on the East Coast, right? So she had a homie whose name, her nickname is Bob. That's literally what we call her. So she has a homie named Bob who is also an Angelino, but at this time was living in New York as well.
Got it.
So she's like, I'm gonna go chill with Bob, and then you and me, we can meet up and do our thing, okay? So this story involves me, Tammy, and Bob. Okay?
Got it.
So now you have the little background. Okay, so I go home, yada, 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 do my thought thizzle, whatever. So this is the second to last day before we go home. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a Sunday night. So it's like Monday night, there's nothing going on, right? So this is our last day to like do anything. Okay.
And you were thinking when you're saying do anything, you wanted to go party, or did you want to
club? We're trying to go to the club, girl.
Trying to go to the club. Got it.
Okay. So yeah. So and Tammy is a party fiend. Okay?
She's down.
Like most Angelinos. If you know anything about Angelinos, all they like to do is party. So
I'm actually just hearing Angelinos as the first time. I've never heard anyone reference people from LA as Angelinos, so I feel so excited to now know that tidbit.
Okay, now you know.
Now I know.
Angelinos, you know.
Perfect.
So yeah, so point being that it's important that Tammy gets to a fucking party, okay?
Got it. Mm-hmm.
So I'm like trying to be the good hostess or whatever. And I'm like, okay. So Tammy comes to Jersey, Bob comes to Jersey. They spend a little time with my family. And now it's Sunday night, okay? Second to last evening, the last evening we can go out.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, bet. Here's the plan, okay? I'm trying to be a good host. And I'm like, listen, we're gonna go to Hoboken, okay? So for my Angelino fam who don't know anything about Hoboken, Hoboken is like this spot in Jersey, right across the water from downtown Manhattan, and it's a party central.
Oh
area.
yeah, it's very fun.
Have you been to Hoboken?
I actually have. Yes, I have. I've partied in Hoboken twice. Once at the W Hotel, and then once at a little Irish or Scottish dive bar at the corner somewhere. But yes.
Yeah, and it's always at the corner in Hoboken. It's always a bar on the corner in Hoboken. Always. Yeah. So Hoboken is Jersey, and Jersey doesn't pop on a Sunday night, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, here's the plan. We're gonna go to Hoboken. I'm gonna ask my sister if I can borrow her car, and I'm gonna take us to Hoboken. And if it's popping, we're going to chill in Hoboken, have a great time. Mm-hmm. But if it's not, it's all good because the path is right there.
Yeah.
And, you know, for my Angelino family, the path is a subway that takes you into the city from Jersey. And so I was like, we're going to take the path and we can go straight into the city. Mm-hmm. And we had a backup plan because my homie from high school, we ran into him earlier in the day and we were like, yo, what's popping on a Sunday?
Yeah.
And he was like, Le Souk in New York City is popping on a Sunday. I don't know if Le Souk is still a thing. I don't know if it still exists.
Oh, if anyone knows, let us know because that'll be the first place I go.
I hope it does. I really do. So he's like, yeah, go to Le Souk. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, bet. We have a whole like plan. And they're like, great. So I'm like, cool. So I go to my sister and I'm like, hey, baby girl, can I borrow your car? Mm-hmm. And she's like, yes. And mind you, she's been letting me borrow her car this whole week. And she's like, but don't forget, you cannot turn on the AC. Okay? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Remember, my sister and her janky cars. Okay?
The hoopty mobiles.
The hoopties. Okay? She is a hoopty queen. And so she's like, don't forget I told you cannot turn on the AC.
Got it.
I'm like, all right, bet. Like, I don't need AC. It's fine. Right. Except for the fact that, like, it's the dead of August, okay? Mm-hmm. And so you know how fucking hot it is.
Sticky, too. Sticky.
Mm-hmm. Hot. You know, it's like where, you know, it's that heat where you can't tell if it's better to have the windows down or the windows up, like when you're driving. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of bad both ways. And then also another little bit of a tidbit information. So the times that my sister was driving me around when she needed her car, baby girl turned on the AC. Okay.
Oh, she did it herself.
In front of mine own eyes. Okay.
Now this was a do as I say, not as I do situation.
You heard? Okay. And I don't do well with that. All right.
If you can do it, I can do it.
I'm like, we got everywhere we were trying to go. Yeah. So I have that in the back of my mind, but I'm like, baby girl, I don't care. Like, I'm going to respect your rules, even though you didn't respect them, whatever. And so she's like, all right, here's the keys. And I'm like, bet. And so me and the homies, we get ready. And there was one more caveat. She goes, because remember, it's Sunday night.
Yeah.
And my sister has to be at work on Monday morning. And she's like, don't turn on the AC and get my car back here by 6 a.m., Priscilla. And she says this like seriously because she knows me.
She knows, yeah. She knows you were ready to rage.
She knows me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, girl, ain't nobody trying to be out there till 6 a.m. I'm gonna be back, relax. You know, I'm just like, relax, whatever, it's fine. So I have my two caveats. No AC, back by 6 a.m. So I'm like, bet. So me and the homies, Tammy and Bob, we jump in the whip and we go to Hoboken, okay?
Right.
So we're on the highway and we're like driving and girl, it's fucking hot.
Yeah.
It's hot. It's August, like, you know? And I'm not trying to sweat out my hair. I'm not trying to sweat out my makeup, you know?
No, you're trying to look good. Yeah.
Okay. So I was like, I mean, I've seen her turn this AC on multiple times. So I was like, dude, we're almost there. It's fine. I turn the AC on, right?
No.
I know. So we start driving. We're still driving, and it's like roll up the windows. We're like cooling now.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
Bumping the music, having a great time. Car's fine. And I'm like, see, that she's talking all this shit. We're fine. Get to Hoboken, and no problem. Get to Hoboken, and we find a spot easily, which is a bad sign because that means Hoboken is dead, right? Because Hoboken is not an easy place to find a spot when it's popping. So we find this like spot, and I'm like, damn, yeah, we got a great, like, I'm so gassed, you know?
Yeah.
And so we're sitting in the whip, like, you know, doing our last looks before we go into the car.
Of course.
And of course, you know, the AC is still running because it's fucking hot. Okay. And then suddenly the cabin fills with smoke.
Great.
And everybody looks to me and I'm like, so I like turn off the ignition real quick. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And all I hear is my sister, don't turn on the AC. You know, in the back of my head, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I told you don't turn on that AC. And I'm like, oh God, oh fuck. And so we're like, what are we gonna fucking do? Like, what are we gonna do? And remember, it's our last night. And don't forget, Tammy's a party fiend, okay?
Yeah. So she's mad, probably getting like a little annoyed at the situation rather than saying, okay, how can we problem solve this? This is not the kind of smoke we wanted, but it's the smoke we got.
That's a fact. Exactly. So I'm like, fuck, what do we do? And I'm just like, my sister is like, she's younger than me, but there's something about her, like, I just don't want to fuck with her. You know what I mean?
I feel the same way about my younger brother, so I get it.
You know what I mean? It's okay, oh, sorry, leave me alone. So I was like, all right, boom, I got a plan. This is my second one of the night, okay? Clearly I'm not a good plan maker, but I'm like,
or a good rule follower either.
Never. So I'm like, all right, ladies, here we go. This is what we're going to do. Instead of me being responsible and being like, let's call AAA and just handle this and go.
Yes.
Smart, right? No. I was like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to leave the car here. We're going to walk around the corner. We're going to get a drink at a bar. We're going to see, you know, if we can find something popping, like
Goodbye.
I know. Should I just go now?
No, I would have grabbed a drink with you.
Okay. So I was like, you know, we're going to go have a drink.
Yeah.
And after that, like, we'll settle down. After that drink, we're going to come back to the car. If the car turns on, we go into the city, baby.
Okay. Yeah.
If the car doesn't turn on, we're going to call AAA and do what we got to do.
Handle this. Yeah.
And so my friends are like, yeah, great plan. Because it's not their car. It's not their sister. They don't
care.
You know? So I was like, bet. So we go to this bar that's basically empty as fuck. There's a couple like, you know, winos in the corner, that type of fucking dive bar, you know? And so we sit there, we have our drink, we kiki with like the randos, you know?
Sweet Caroline is playing in the background.
Exactly. And so, you know, the drink is finished and we're like, all right, yo, it's time. Now's the test of time. Let's go.
Fingers crossed.
So we walk back around the corner and we get in the whip. You know, we say a quick little prayer. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Like, please, all the gods help us.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, here we go. Key in the ignition. I turn it and the bitch starts. Okay. It starts.
There we go.
So we're like, party all the time, you know, it's like, it's
party all the time. Eddie Murphy's presence was with you.
Literally. And so I'm like, all right, bet, cool. So we're about to jump into, we're going to the city. That's the plan. We're going to the souk. So we, you know, get all our shit, get out of the whip, grab a joint, because we had one.
That was the kind of smoke we were looking for, people. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. And so we grabbed this joint, and my Angelino friends are like walking down the street smoking. I'm like, bitch, this is not California.
No.
We need to get behind a dumpster, okay?
Yeah. And
like,
quick, yeah.
And quickly. Like, I'm not getting arrested in New Jersey. You crazy as hell.
Not going down like that.
Okay. So we go behind this dumpster, we smoke this weed. Now, everything's great. We're high, we're heading to the city. It's great. So we jump on the path, get into the city, hop in a cab, and we go to Le Souk, okay?
Perfect.
We get to Le Souk, and Le Souk, by the way, is like a hookah bar, like a hookah lounge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we get there, and girl, it is popping as fuck.
Really?
Popping as fuck. Like, my memory of that night is literally because there was like a drum circle in the middle of the club. And my memory is just like lots of like things happening, drums and like smoke, and like it was just like a popping ass time.
I'm imagining like black and red colors and lighting, kind of velvety couches. Is that the vibe?
It's like, it was a little, but maybe a little lighter, which was surprising. I was like, it's not as like dark and sexy as I thought it would be. It was like lighter, pastel-y kind of look,
Mm-hmm.
And so we have a great fucking time. Like, just like so happy. Tammy's happy. I got that bitch off my back. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like about like, now it's like 3:30-ish, 3:45. And I'm like, all right, yo,
you're about to turn into a pumpkin.
Okay. So I was like, all right. Yeah. Cause it was popping. I'm sorry. It was.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, all right. Are we ready? Are we ready to go? And they're like, yes, let's do it. We did it. We came, we saw, we conquered.
Got it.
So we do the reverse trip, jump in the cab, back on the path, by the time we get back to the whip, it's probably about 4 a.m. Right? Now, remember, my curfew is 6 a.m.
Yes, it is.
Be home by 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I'm fucking proud of myself. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm like, look at me, 4 a.m. I got 2 whole hours to get this car back. My sister can never talk shit to me again. Okay.
Yeah.
So we get in this car, and it's like second moment of truth, right? Because it's like, what if it doesn't start this time?
Yeah, we need it to start. So
we pray again. Jesus. Stick the key in the ignition, turn it. The car starts. Okay. So we're like, now I'm like feeling myself. I'm like, look at me. I'm like, I'm about to be home an hour and a half early. My sister can never talk shit to me again.
You're on top.
I'm on top. I had a great night. I'm feeling myself. I was a great host, responsible sister. Here we go. So we get in the whip, we take off. And I'm like, ooh, this is great. I love driving cars,
Yeah.
So we on the way from, so it's like Hope to get to my house not my house, my dad's place.
But yeah.
So to get there, you got to go through Hoboken, through a little bit of Jersey City, and then you're on the highway into the Oranges, which is where I'm from.
Got it.
And so we get through Hoboken, and there's this so right before you get into Jersey City, there's this it's like at the bottom of a hill, there's this traffic circle, okay? It is I don't know, like in New Jersey, we have traffic circles.
It's like a roundabout, right?
A roundabout, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yes, we don't fuck with intersections. It's all about roundabouts and jug handles in New Jersey.
Yes.
And I found out later that like everybody's always, non-Jerseyans are so freaked out by this. And I'm just like, it's just a circle, it's fine.
It's the way, yeah.
It's the way. So there's this circle, right? It's a large traffic circle. And it is because a little more background. I used to go to school in Jersey City. I went to college in Jersey City. So I'm familiar with this area. Mm-hmm. And I know that this circle is the second most deadliest traffic circle in all of New Jersey.
Fantastic.
Okay. I know this. Okay.
Yes. Tammy and Bob are in for a treat.
They don't know. So we get to the light at this circle, and the part of the reason why it's so dangerous is because there's like 5 or 6 offshoots from this traffic circle.
Oh, okay.
And they're like major thoroughfares. It's like the 1 and 9, the Pulaski Skyway, the 280. So it's not like a tiny little traffic circle. So we got to this traffic circle. I'm at the red light waiting for this shit to turn. And it's like, all I got to do is like go halfway around the circle, up this hill, and I'm on the freeway. I'm home, baby.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
So wait, the light turns. Bob and Tammy, they're knocked out. They're over it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wait, the light turns, and I'm like, all right, boom. So I start pulling off. And then suddenly the car fucking locks up, dude.
No.
Like, have you ever been in a car where it locks up like that? Like the gas locks up, the brake locks up, the steering
just freezes on you. Oh yeah.
I mean, it's terrifying, right? Because you're like, I no longer have control of this car, you know?
I've had that happen, and I've had my horn start going at the same time. It used to, like, my car used to just, the horn would just beep randomly. So yes, my skin is crawling for you right now. I'm in it.
Okay. And I'm in the second most dangerous traffic circle.
Yes.
And I have no control over this car, right? And so I'm like, oh my God. And, you know, Bob and Tammy are waking up. Like, what the fuck? What's going on? And I'm like, I don't know. The car's seizing up. I don't fucking know. Oh God. Oh God. I managed to, like, with all my fucking might, you know, like get this car and pull it into like the shoulder of this traffic circle. Right. And we get to this shoulder and I'm like, this is it. I was like, my sister's gonna murder me. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm done. The car is done. I'm done. And now it's like 4:30 a.m., right? So that hour, so it's like, you know, and I'm like, oh, you know, I try, nothing, right? So finally I realized, like, yo, I got to do it. I got to call my sister, you know, we don't have any AAA cards. We're fucking tourists basically. Right.
Yeah.
So I had to call my sister, and I'm like, fuck. It's like 4:45 in the morning. I'm just remembering that lecture she gave me, you know, right before I left.
And you know, she probably didn't sleep right with her car being out. She wasn't getting a good night's sleep. Yeah, she wasn't getting a good night's sleep anyway. So this was the call that honestly she probably manifested.
There it is, girl. Yes, Rocky. It was her fault. Okay, she manifested this whole situation. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Lisbeth.
Thank you. So now we're on this shoulder, and I'm like, all right, fuck. I make the call. And my sister's just like, she's so angry, she doesn't even get angry. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yes. That's worse.
She's just like, I just hear like a long sigh, you know? And she's like, okay, you know what? She's like, here's my AAA information. Like, here's my garage, like, just
take care, handle it.
And I never want to see you again. You know?
Yeah.
No, she did, but I mean,
of course.
Right? That's how it felt. And I was just like, oh God. And so we make this call, right? And now it's like 5 a.m. Okay. Sun is starting to fucking come up. Okay. I mean, it's ridiculous. And so we make this call, and they're like, all right, we're going to send somebody to your location, 30 to 45 minutes.
Of course,
right? Yeah. Of course, it's 5 a.m. We're sitting here in our club clothes, you know, been out all fucking night. And now, of course, I got to wait another 45 fucking minutes for this truck to show up, right?
Yeah, and you can't sleep. Like, the two of them, Tammy and Bob, can put their head down for a second. You have to be alert, like on it.
I'm the host. And I know where we are. Yeah. The most dangerous second most dangerous traffic circle in New Jersey, which I didn't tell them. But I'm like, so I can't. I'm just like awake, and they're just like, oh, well, they knocked back out, right?
Of course, yeah.
So we're sitting there, you know, and I'm just waiting for killing time. And about like 15, 20 minutes into us waiting there, I hear like a screech and a bang. Okay. Car accident, baby. So I'm like, oh my God, like
I'm in hell right now.
I'm like, oh my God, there's a car accident. I know I'm in the most dangerous fucking circle, and there had to be a car accident, like as if that's not like confirmation that this is not safe for us to be here.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I was like, so I look across like the other side of the circle, and like straight diagonally is like a little fender bender that happened, right? And I'm just like, oh, please, Jesus, let us get out of here alive.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
And so we're chilling.
God is like, Priscilla again.
God is like, you asking a lot, bitch. You asking a lot, okay? Literally. So we're chilling, or I'm chilling, they're asleep. And so like another 10, 15 minutes goes by. Mind you, now it's like 30 minutes. Sun is like pretty much up, you know what I mean? And still have this AAA still hasn't showed up. Okay. So I'm waiting, Suddenly I see this police car pull up next to us, right? And this is before like Black Lives Matter. This is before like George Floyd. So to me, I'm like, we saved, y'all. We are saved. Yeah. I'm like, bitches, wake up. Popo's here. They're about to help us get the fuck out of here. Like, yes.
The narrator is like, little did she know.
So Popo pulls up and she's like, it's one cop, and I'm like, oh, she's like, did you guys see, typical Jersey cop, did you guys see an accident around here? And I'm like, is she for real? She came, really? I was like, oh yeah, it's right over there, like right behind you. And she's like, oh, okay, perfect, thank you. And so she starts fucking pulling up. I was like, what? She says nothing about us being straight, nothing. She starts pulling off, and then she stops. And I go, okay, her conscience came back, you know? And she goes, by the way, you guys need to get out of this car. This is a dangerous traffic circle. People die here all the time. You're gonna get crashed and you're gonna die dead instantly, okay? Get out of this car. And she's like, stand on the side of the road. And I was like, okay. She's like, all right, bye.
Thanks for the help.
Thanks for the help. So now I'm like, okay, guys, yes, she's right. We probably shouldn't be sitting in this car. So she pulls off, goes around the circle, and goes to deal with that accident. And so now I'm like, all right.
She's over there to them, like, do you see those three in that car? They're just sitting there like, this ain't the most dangerous circle in all of Jersey.
They're crazy. They're crazy. You're gonna be dead. Boom, dead. That's all I hear, dead.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, fuck. So I'm like, look, let's get out. She's right. Like, we should probably get out. Mm-hmm. So now remember, we sitting out here dressed like hoochie mamas, of course, still got our heels on.
Yeah.
Now, what are we at? 8 hours? This fucking adventure has been at, you know what I'm saying? We done spent 6 hours at the club, 3 hours, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be standing on the side of the road, you know.
Yeah, no, it's not ideal.
And it's Monday morning rush hour traffic.
In August in Jersey.
In August in Jersey. All right. So I'm just like, all these fucking business people driving by, you know, giving us dirty looks, like those transients out there. So we get out, we sit, which also, by the way, it's like, I mean, is it a difference? Because like, we can get murdered here too. Like, it's
absolutely,
just, you know, it's like, yeah, we stepped a few feet back, whatever, but it's fine. So now we're sitting here, we're still waiting for this motherfucking AAA, okay? So another like 10, 15 minutes goes by. AAA took the full 45 minutes, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So suddenly this car shows up, the truck shows up as AAA, and we're like, yeah!
Home free.
Home fucking free. Yes, okay? So this fucking guy shows up, we give him all the information, he takes the truck, takes the Jeep, puts it on the back of his truck, and we're like, yes, let's get the fuck up out of here, okay? It's probably 5:30 a.m. now, okay? Mm-hmm. And so he's like, all right, cool. So he goes, okay, which one of you two is coming with me? Remember, there's 3 of us.
Oh no, he can't fit you all.
So I said, excuse me, sir? He's like, which one of you two? I'm like, I know this motherfucker can count. And I was like,
1, 2, 3.
There's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know, like 2 of us, we're not just gonna leave one of our friends here on the side of the road. Yeah, and mind you, this is in the time before Uber and Lyft. Mm-hmm. So it's not like we could just be like, all right, fine, take it. We'll meet you at we were stranded, you know, without this guy helping us. And so we kind of like go back and forth with this guy, and he's like, no, I can't, you know, it's against regulations for me to have more than, you know, da-da-da-da-da. And this motherfucker, you know what he does? He goes and takes the Jeep off the back of the truck and leaves us there.
Wait, what?
Yes, bitch.
What?
Yes. bitch.
I don't understand why he wouldn't just take one of you.
3 fucking young ass. And mind you, we were like in our 20s. I probably looking 16. You know what I mean? Dress like straight up hookers, like on the side.
Yeah.
Dog. He fucking left us there.
Oh, I literally can't believe this. I really can't, because I don't understand why. Number one, I get it, you guys couldn't call a car, right? But even to just maybe take one of your friends and you stay behind and you say, okay, I'm going to call somebody who's in my Jersey family or friends that's going to come scoop us up. It's going to be a pain, but I'm going to do it. He could have still taken the car. Like, what are you doing, my man?
What is you doing? Okay. And
wow.
Like, yes. And so we were like, you know what? Fuck you, dude. Like, fuck this guy. Let him fucking go. Like, we'll just call AAA. They'll send somebody else. Fuck this guy.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
So to this day, I still think about, I can't believe this motherfucker did us like that.
No, that was dirty.
So dirty, right?
That was dirty, yeah.
And now what? It's like, it's 6 a.m. now. You know what I mean? So this fucking guy, he leaves us there. And I'm like, fuck him. Call AAA. We get the same 30, 45 minutes for somebody to come.
You know the drill by this time.
I know the drill. I was like, well, now we're in rush hour. Maybe it'll be sooner because we're in business hour. No, still 30, 45 minutes. Okay. So at this point, my feet hurt, our backs hurt. So we're like, look, if it's our day to die, it's our day to die. We're getting back in this car because we cannot be standing on the side of this road like this. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
So we get back in this whip. And we're waiting, and I'm just like waiting for the impact of the crash that's gonna kill me, Dead. You're gonna be dead, okay? So we they go back, they knock the fuck back out again. I'm still like sitting here waiting. I did try to call a homie to see if they could come get us, and they couldn't come get us. I mean, it's 6 a.m. on a fucking, it's the worst time for any of this to be happening. You know what I mean?
Right,
it's not,
of course.
It's just a bad fucking time. So we couldn't find any, nothing. So we're just like, all right, let's just hope that this new fucking person that comes either has a car that can accommodate us or is chill, And so wait, girl, it took the whole fucking 45 minutes again.
Yeah.
So, girl, we've been sitting on the side of this road for now an hour and a half and counting. Yeah. Okay. Most dangerous circle, second most dangerous circle in New Jersey.
Don't forget it.
And so finally, here comes a AAA truck. And I'm like, bitches, wake up. Yeah. We out of here. AAA's back. Yes.
Yeah. We're about to be free. Yeah.
We're free. Girl, so AAA pulls up. I look over. Guess who the fuck it is?
The same guy?
The same fucking dude!
Why didn't he even realize that it was you guys?
When I tell you, I wanted to fight the air. I was like, he can't be for... Me and Bob start cracking up, immediately. Tammy's fucking pissed. She's fucking pissed. Me and Bob, we are... Because at this point, it's like, you gotta laugh not to cry. You know what I mean?
What I have to say about this man showing up 45 minutes late, though, where did you go? Where did you go for 45 minutes, though? Because weren't you just here 5 minutes ago? Where did you go?
And you know exactly who you're coming to pick up. It's the same damn location. I mean, I just could not believe, and you had the nerve to show your fucking face here again.
This man is playing games.
You're playing games with our lives, literally. And so this fucking guy pulls up and I'm just like, this is hilarious. I can't believe this is happening to me. And so, we're just looking at him like, what? What are we going to do? What? Yeah. Now what? So we ended up fucking literally negotiating with this fucking guy. And girl, guess what it took for him to finally allow us to, all three of us, to squeeze into his car, which is not even a squeeze. We were this big, 20 something year olds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was plenty of room.
You had to grease those palms.
Girl, $40.
Mm-hmm.
40. That's all I had to pay this fool. We collected our little $40.
Yep.
And he was like, okay, I'll take you now. I was like, so you mean to tell me all we need to do is give you $40? Or you mean to tell me that you left us here because, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And $40 was all it would have taken for you to act like a decent fucking human being?
Yep.
I just was just so thrown by that whole situation.
Thrown
And
but not surprised, right? Thrown but not surprised. Well,
not,
maybe
not,
then.
no, yeah, I wasn't, I mean, I guess, yeah, I wasn't particularly surprised. I was more like, yeah, I guess it's like, cause you don't have, I don't have faith in humanity,
Yeah,
right?
and things like that will make you have even less faith in humanity. I knew it though. It just a little bit of money. It's so gross.
So gross that you were
Yeah.
willing to leave three young ass women
Mm-hmm.
by themselves on the side of a fucking road for another 45 minutes because you got the first call.
Yeah.
All because of 40 fucking bucks. So in conclusion, this guy drives us to the garage and leaves us to our devices, and at the garage we're able to call a cab and take ourselves home.
Wow.
And went to sleep. And that is my messy story.
Well, I have a couple things to say. I have a couple things to ask. First of all, thank you for sharing that. I'm not lying to you when I'm telling you my cheeks hurt from laughing and smiling at that story. I'm glad enough time has passed where we can laugh at it. But that was a great story. So I have a question. I want to start at the beginning. So you said Tammy was not you're no longer friends. She's no longer the friend to hang out with and party with. When you brought her back to mingle with your family and meet your people back in Jersey, did your family get a vibe about her? Did anybody kind of say we're not feeling Tammy?
It's so funny you say that because my family actually really liked Tammy a lot.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And because my family has definitely always told me when they don't fuck with people, my friends.
Yeah.
So they actually really love Tammy. Like my mom is still Facebook friends with her, which I'm like still upset about. I don't want to talk about it, but I'm like, why are you still fucking Facebook friends with this hoe? I didn't say it like that, but
yeah.
But yeah, the thing about Tammy is like this. Tammy is a social butterfly. She's super fun. She's a very affable person.
Uh-huh.
But she has some shit about her that's just like that I couldn't fuck with anymore after a while.
That's okay.
But yeah, she's definitely so I see why my family like really liked her.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they did like her.
Yeah, but you were the one. That's okay if your family liked her, but if over time you guys didn't vibe, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you got to cut people out if the vibe ain't right.
Okay.
That's just how it is. Now, did you ever have more friends? This was in your earlier 20s. You said, did you ever bring more friends back to Jersey and try to reenact anything there?
Definitely don't want to reenact that situation ever again. Did I ever bring anybody else to Jersey with me? I don't think so.
Okay.
I think Tammy was the only friend that I ever, Tammy and Bob. Yeah.
Tammy and Bob were the nail in the coffin. Are you still friends with Bob?
Not like we're not friends, but she was more of like a mutual friend with Tammy. Gotcha. So like we don't really, and she's like the type of chick, she bounces around a lot of places, so she's not even out here anymore.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Well, that was actually pretty crazy. I feel like I would have been very traumatized after that to, go out partying with a car, but it was different times. I feel like people don't realize the luxury of a Lyft, the luxury of an Uber. We didn't have that in our early 20s.
Okay. And that's and you were literally like, if that, because of that, like there were times where you were literally stranded, like this isn't the first time I've been stranded, in the middle of a situation like that. But yeah, I mean, thank God we even had a phone, because this is even I couldn't even when we were sitting in the car, this is even before the time of like surfing the internet on your phone. It was just like texts and regular ass phone calls,
And that's it. It's crazy too how expensive yellow cabs used to be back then. That was wild.
Yep. And then in Jersey, you can't just hail a cab. There's no, it's not like that. You have to call the cab to come and get you.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a cab, a cab number just handy, which I'm sure some responsible people do,
Right.
you know, like you're fucked.
You're like, I'm very prepared for this type of situation. I know this is the most dangerous intersection and I have to use it often. So here we go. Like, okay, great. Well, your car will never break down because of that reason. So get the fuck out of my face. Yeah. When I first moved from college to my first apartment in the city, I was living in Bushwick. I worked as a cocktail waitress and I would get out of work at 3 a.m. in Times Square. And then I would have to go home and I wouldn't get home till 4 a.m. The subway, there was a couple nights where I tried to take it and then it was a 7-minute walk to my house. It just wasn't happening. It was too desolate. Ubers and Lyfts. So for probably the first 6 months of working at this comedy club, I would hail a yellow cab every night and pay $30 to $35 to get home safely. I just think of all the money I spent on yellow cabs in my early 20s is wild. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so expensive.
Yeah.
It was so incredibly, god damn, 30. And then like you have to factor that into your budget when you're like when you make your money for the, you know, I did the whole cocktail waitress thing in New York too. And you gotta fucking, it's like, yeah, I made this amount of money tonight, subtract that $30 and I know I'm gonna have to
put towards a cab.
God, that, yep.
I had to stop taking the cabs in January. It was 6 months after I started working at this club. I had to stop taking the cabs in January because it was off the books. And I only made some nights, I would make like $50 or $60 cash because Times Square would have been so empty after the holidays that I was like, well, I made $60. I can't put $30 towards a cab. So I would take the subway home. And there was one guy who had, those little like black cars that would always sit outside the subway.
Yeah, delivery cab or whatever.
Yeah. There was one guy who would wait for me there every night. And the charge to go from the subway was Myrtle Wyckoff to go to my apartment was $7, and he would only charge me $5. And he waited for me every night.
Oh, and and he's a real one.
Yeah.
Unlike that motherfucking AAA guy.
Yeah.
That's what, you know what I mean? That's a real,
that's humanity.
That's humanity. You know what I'm saying? And you know, he did that in part because he was worried about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, you don't have to know. It's like just humanness. Like, let's
be nice.
Be nice. Like, try not to be a dick and look out for each other as much as possible.
That is some solid wisdom that I can get on board with. And so we're all going to be going back into a very different world, right? If I had been doing this podcast pre-COVID, I might not have met you for years and years because I probably would have just done it in person with a comedian circle in New York. So what do you see specifically the comedy community? How do you see that changing after when the restrictions get lifted, when we get herd immunity, things like that? How do you see that changing?
You know, I think that, I think first and foremost, people are going to rush back to doing things the way we used to do, just to feel again, you know?
Yeah.
But I do think that people are going to rely more, or not rely, but utilize, things like Zoom, like virtual platforms more than we did previously, which creates a situation like this, where like someone from LA can have, a conversation with someone in New York, and like, you don't have to wait till like, oh, I'm going to be in New York for 3 weeks, hit me up and I'm going to do all the shows, and
the scheduling and everything. Yeah.
Exactly. I think definitely I think the one good thing is it's going to expand like opportunity for people.
Yeah.
Whereas before, even like, I'm an actor also, even on the acting side of things, it's like, I'm getting kind of more, like not super more, but more auditions. And that's in part because like, all they got to do is, turn on the computer or tell you to just send a tape, versus like, fighting traffic, looking for a parking spot, getting, you can only fit so many people into an hour, into an hour block. But if you're doing it virtually, you can do a lot more. So I think it's going to definitely expand opportunities for comedians.
you can do a lot more too, because it cuts commute time, not only for the actors auditioning, but those who are looking at the auditions. All the casting directors, they can do it from the comfort of their home and then confab with other casting directors virtually. So I agree with you. I think that it's going to definitely change the entertainment game and the networking game and everything, hopefully for the positive. That's what I'm hoping.
I think so. I mean,
so.
I hope so. Please.
Please, fingers crossed. Now, what do you have coming up? What can you plug? I would love for everybody to follow you. So plug yourself and tell us what you have going on.
Yeah. Well, you can listen to my podcast. I have a podcast. It's called Scam Goddess Confessions. And for those who are familiar with Scam Goddess, that's another popular podcast.
Yeah.
And this is an extra bonus podcast off of this, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm the co-host on that. So you can listen to that on Stitcher Premium. It's called Confessions again. And it's very fun. It's a lot of fun. We talk about scams and we're silly. We're just silly on there. And let's see.
The Wild Nights audience loves silly. So that's wonderful. So I'm sure you're going to I hope you get a few followers from that.
Oh, I better. No.
If you don't follow her, she will meet you in the Jersey Circle.
Okay. Now I know how that shit works.
AC's on.
Literally. Exactly.
AC's on.
And of course, you can always follow me on IG at Priscilla Davies Actor. And I'm also on Twitter, QOT Desert, as in Queen of the Desert.
Yes.
And you can follow me there.
Well, Priscilla, this was amazing. I will put all your links up for everybody to follow you. Thank you for being so open with your story and sharing. That was a wild one.
Was it a mess?
It was definitely a mess, but it was a mess that we love. And thank you so much, Priscilla. I hope you stay well. And I hope to meet you in person after all this is over.
Right?
That would be fun. We'll get a drink in an air-conditioned car.
Officer, I know we're drinking in a car right now, but it's not. You're going to be dead. You're going to be dead.
Officer, the smoke is from the AC. Priscilla, thank you so much for doing the show.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.